My dear colleagues, I rise this morning to move this motion on frightening killings in Rivers State. Mr. President, let me start by saying that some years ago, what is going around this country today in terms of insecurity, killings, kidnapping, and raping, were confined to a few states in the Niger Delta. Motions were raised both in the Senate and the House of Reps. Till today, it has not abated. But at the risk of monotony, I have to raise the case of Rivers State because a new dimension has been added to the killings. The Senate is aware that the killing of innocent citizens as a result of murder, kidnapping, violence, or abduction has been the bane of Rivers State for more than a decade now. Now recalls that these killings assumed a very dangerous proportion before, during, and after the 2015 general elections, where more than 200 persons were killed. The Senate is worried that the nature of killings in the state has assumed a more horrendous dimension by the decapitation or dismembering of body parts, including beheading of victims. Only last week, about 4 heads were found along the east-west road for people to see. The Senate learned that a new twist has now been added to this sacrilegious conduct by not only killing by beheading, but also by having the corpses burnt. I have here with me, Mr. President, the video clips of burnt corpses. Informed that about 9 p.m. on Sunday, the 19th May 2019, unknown gunmen invaded a serene village called Isod community in Emoha local government area, that is my own local government area, and killed 3 young men that were just sitting outside, aged between 23 and 30, and unashamedly burnt the corpses. The Senate is worried that these killings spread across the length and breadth of the state. Virtually, at least, I had to reach out to the 8 local government areas I'm representing here in the Senate last night, and they reported these killings going on. The Senate recalls that during the last interaction between the Senate and the Inspector General of Police, I stated emphatically that kidnappings and killings have become a way of life in the state, and nothing seems to be done. Aware that the primary responsibility of any responsive government is the provision of security of life and property of its citizens. The Senate is informed that in Rivers State life has become more brutish and worthless, since anybody can be killed, kidnapped, or abducted anytime, anywhere, any day. The Senate is alarmed that no meaningful strategy has been put in place to check this unbridled development in the polity. Regrets to know that traditional rulers and community heads, who are neither in control of the police, the army, nor the resources, are being held responsible to check kidnapping and killings in their various communities. Even all the efforts that the army made to ensure a reduction in this may not be using much result because of lack of cooperation. The government is busy condemning the army every day, even when they are helping to reduce the carnage. Therefore, the Senate resolves to urge the Rivers State government to immediately liaise with the security agencies in Rivers State to stop the incessant killings and kidnappings of innocent citizens in Rivers State. Urge the federal and the Rivers State government to develop workable strategies that will stop the rising cases of killings in the state. I therefore appeal, the Senate should appeal to all sons and daughters of the state to work towards finding a more lasting peace in the beleaguered state.
Of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, my fellow colleagues. Today we are talking of Rivers State, a major and integral part of the Nigerian Federation. Only a few days ago, we invited the Inspector General of Police to brief this Senate of the situation in Nigeria. What is happening in Rivers State is about what is happening in the entire country. I would like us to, as statesmen, consider this issue of River State as something that's affecting the entire Federation of Nigeria. We are trying as much as possible here to create a situation where we are demarcating a particular state. We cannot go to Kaduna today by road. It's a failure of security. A lot of places have indicated there is insecurity in their land. I think the security architecture in the entire country has failed. What we need now is a review of the situation in the entire country. If we isolate states, we may end up incurring the wrath of investors. When I read through the motion, I was a bit worried when you say a situation has lasted for a decade. And we are here. What are we doing here? We conducted elections, we came out successfully, and if it is completely against all norms, then of course we are supposed to be held accountable as well. We are leaders. As leaders, we must be able to nip the problems in the bud. I think that we should not make this a reverse issue. This is a Nigerian issue, and reading through the motion and then going to the prayers, I imagine that the prayers ought to have been specific to give directives that the culprits must be brought to book. It is a bit watered down because most of these things are actually happening. There are collaborative efforts between the state government and the federal government, but yet it's not yielding results. So what are we doing wrong? What is it that we ought to do that we have not done? Well, I think we should look at it now as statesmen, as nationalists, and come up with a solution to this general insecurity in the land without necessarily identifying a particular state. I know that it is very bad, that is happening very close to us. It has happened in my constituency repeatedly, but then I'm also being careful that I don't use that to demarcate the state and cause even more boldness in those that we are now trying to promote by way of mentioning the activities or giving them that prominence in the National Assembly. I think that we should try to be a statesman, see what we can do, and rejig the security architecture in the country generally.